Hello, happy Sunday evening if you're watching this in real time, or happy Monday or beyond if you are watching this later. My name is Allison Ziegler. My brand is Allison Ziggy, and we make calendars, planners, journals. We help you get into alignment and become your best self, both through the calendar, through live events, and through coaching programs. That is my trusty cat Miko, and today we are here launching a reoccurring series that I am so excited to bring to you. So, I am officially kicking off the Sunday night live stream series, and we are going to record this essentially as a live podcast. Okay, so you can come hang out with me live. I'm going to be repurposing this, posting it on YouTube, keeping it on Facebook. This is going to be our weekly time to connect, get you aligned, centered, and focused so that you can go into the week feeling amazing and feeling as good as possible in your own energy. This is the topic for tonight specifically, but each topic is going to just help you go into your week just feeling absolutely amazing and on top of the world. It will be a combination of meditation, mindfulness, mindset strategies, and a little bit of planning. So I appreciate you joining me. And throughout the weeks, I'm also going to start having guests in a few weeks. So if you're interested in a collaboration or would like to come live with me, that is always an option. My cat Miko loves to. Shh. We're going to be meditating, baby. You got to quiet down. So I was cleaning out my craft area earlier today, and Miko got a gem stuck to his foot. And when Miko got a gem stuck to his foot, he was very upset and he didn't know what to do. And I was just like, Miko, please, like, I'm able to help you. Like, please let me help you. He was like running around, and I was so scared that he was gonna like choke on it. So we had a little situation earlier today with my cat accidentally bedazzling himself. But alas, we are all here, alive, and well. So I invite you, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and close our eyes. Take a deep centering breath. Release. Now I want you to take another deep breath, and we're going to hold at the top. This is going to be the deepest inhale that you have taken all day. Breathe it all in. Hold at the top, and I want you to just release. Let it all go. One more deep breath. Hold at the top. Release. And I invite you to put a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. And feel into what you need right now. Feel into what feels good for you. Feel into what your body's craving. Maybe it's water, tea, stretching. Maybe it's tapping. Maybe it's exercise. The more in tune you become with yourself, the more seamlessly you're able to attract the things in your life that feel good and are in alignment with who you truly are. So I want you to picture this upcoming week with everything you have going on. And maybe you don't know the blanks yet of what's going on, but I want you to just imagine yourself being the most authentic version of you. And I just want you to imagine yourself bringing a little bit more of your unique essence, of your unique energy into every situation that you encounter this week. Maybe it involves wearing a bow in your hair. Maybe it involves waking up a little bit earlier so you can sit with your coffee and read before you start your day. Maybe it's wearing long, flowy outfits that make you feel happy and make you feel abundant and make you feel joyful. Regardless, I just want you to see yourself embracing this week and just going with the flow and shining in your authentic truth. When you're aligned, it requires a lot less effort. There's a lot less pushing energy and a lot more sitting back and having situations go your way seemingly out of nowhere. I want you to, for a moment before we come back, just feel into this energy of ease. Think about just everything in your life this week flowing so easily. And what helps with this energy of ease is being on your own side and being kind to yourself and just kind of observing as you're going through situations. Instead of being your own inner critic, being your friend and approaching this week from a place of self-love, a place of possibility, and a place of just making a little bit more room for yourself every single day. Breathing in, releasing. And when you feel ready, I invite you to come back into the room. You can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, move your body side to side. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much to everyone who joined me for this amazing meditation that we just used to kick off our Sunday night live stream. So today we are talking about a topic that I became very well acquainted with this weekend, and that is the process of getting into your own energy. So if you're anything like me, there are a million different things you could choose to be doing at any given time. So again, I appreciate you for listening to this or tuning in and watching, again, whether live or via the replay. But there's so many options available to us. I mean, even if you go to watch something on TV, there's 700 different programs that you could choose to watch. There's 100 different things you could choose to have for breakfast. There's so many different things that you can choose to do at any given moment throughout the day. So I want to I story from what I experienced this past week. This past week was kind of bad. And I don't like to assign labels of like good versus bad. Everything's ultimately serving you. But this past week felt pretty bad at moments. On the day of the new moon, where everybody was talking about it's 111, like set your intentions, make your wishes, set your resolutions. I was not feeling that. It was just like I just wanted to curl up under a blanket and hide, and just there was so much going on in my life that I didn't want to face. There were so many things that were in my path where it was just like, I don't really want to do this. Everything that I was approaching felt like it was either kind of like a battle, or it felt like it was something that was lukewarm. I kept using this to describe it. I felt like there were all these lukewarm experiences, and I didn't really want to do any of them. There was an opportunity to kind of go home. There was some events coming up, and it was just like nothing felt like that F yes energy. You know that energy where it's like, yeah, you really want to do something? None of that was appealing to me. It was all just this lukewarm, like take it or leave it. And so I said no to everything. I canceled my train. There was this event I could have gone to on Friday that made a lot of sense on paper, but I'm like, I don't want to go. There was all of these things. I shut my phone off at 5 p.m. on Friday. I turned the TV off, and I was just with myself. And that is we look at not having plans, and we look at this energy of just sitting and doing quote unquote nothing as unproductive, or you should be out doing things, or like the epitome of, we look at what it means to be thriving, and we can have these expectations and these ideas that means that you're always constantly doing things, that you're always out with people, that you're always on the go, that you're always whatever. At least this is a perception that I used to have. And so that moment of taking my power back was just cutting off everything that didn't feel good so that I could reconnect to me, so that I could sit there. And instead of being in these situations and feeling like a victim to my circumstances, like I'm in all these rooms, I'm doing all this small talk and having it not feel good, we don't have time for that in 2024. We don't have room for that in 2024. So this is all about connecting to yourself and cutting off the lukewarm energy. Because if you entertain yourself with lukewarm situations, lukewarm energy, that's all you're going to create more of. And so whenever you're in the process of going through changes, at least from my experience, and I'd venture to say that this might be something that you experience as well, it is going to be incredibly uncomfortable in the unfolding. It was so weird to say no to everything and have a void. Like to say no to everything that I had going on so that I could sit home on my couch by myself, not speaking to anybody. And it sounds a little bit self-isolation-esque, but I use my time so deliberately. It was one of the first times in the past few months where I sat down and I created art just for myself, not for a planner, not for a product launch. It was like I just sat and I did exactly what I wanted to do, and I didn't care what anybody thought about it because nobody knew what I was doing. And nobody even really truly cared that I didn't go to the events that I backed out of. Like those restrictions or shoulds or like you should be doing this, that was all me putting that on myself. And so I invite you to look at your own life where maybe you're saying yes to things and it's like you're kind of approaching life from this energy of like, I need to be doing more, I need to be going to this, or it's something I've been going to. If it's not making you happy or if it resembles lukewarm, say no and have faith that something better will come in its place. There is, I don't know that I would call this a law, but there's something that I've learned, and it's this idea of addition through subtraction. And so what you do before you can really reap the rewards of your subtraction, you need to release and let go and trust that more is on its way and that more is coming. This is standard abundance, but anything that doesn't feel good to you is actually just taking away from who you truly are. It's dulling your shine, and it's diminishing what you're able to attract, which actually will more closely resemble who you really are. So whenever you're entertaining these situations and you're like, this feels good, and you're in your head and you're thinking about it and you're like, maybe I should go for this. You're probably too in your head. You know what a yes feels like. You know what it feels like when you absolutely want to do something. You know what it feels like when you're in alignment and you're in the flow and everything's just miraculously happening and it just feels effortless. And you get to experience that. So do not settle for the lukewarm. And the way that we actually start to heat up the temperature in our lives and kind of stop attracting this lukewarm, number one is to say no to things that do not light you up, do not make you happy. The second is to set boundaries in your life. And this really, boundaries are for you, not for them. It does not matter how the boundary is perceived by the other person. Like, set the boundaries for yourself, knowing that that is an act of self-love and that is getting you where you want to ultimately go. So those are the first two things that I will absolutely say about getting into your own energy. Now, the next thing that I like to do in terms of getting into my own energy, whenever I had the best sleep that I've probably had since moving to New York City on Friday night. When I turned off my phone, I didn't have any messages, and this wasn't do not disturb. This was like my phone was off. I was unavailable. And I slept better than I've probably slept since I moved to New York City. And it just felt amazing to just get all the noise out there. There was this event that I was supposed to go to where they had life coaches, they had tarot readers, and I was like, the last thing that I need is someone else's perspective on what I need to be doing right now. And I didn't even use this time. I feel like there's this term that I use, which is buckle up. And I feel like I love to like buckle down and like sit down and like do all the things that I need to do. And I wasn't doing any of that. Like, getting into your own energy really just means honoring where you're at without any expectations or feeling like you need to do anything. It's just thinking about what's going to truly make you happy without worrying how it's going to be perceived or even worrying about anything other than the present moment. So it's just being okay to trust where you're at, trusting the present moment, and trusting that you're going to be okay and you've got this, and you just need to listen to your intuition in those moments. Because when you have all these external stimuli and you have all this external feedback and you have all this external energy going on, it's impossible to hear your intuition. You can even forget what your intuition sounds like when you have too many other people telling you what you need to do, telling you what you need to believe, telling you that you need to keep doing more. And that's not true. So the way that you approach life from a full cup is this concept of getting in your own energy. So I'm going to share a few of my favorite ways that you can do this, and then you can use this whenever you're actually sitting down and doing your planning. So the first thing that I like to do is meditate. Anytime that I'm starting to feel scattered, anytime, I just close my eyes. Even if it's just for 10 seconds, that allows me to kind of pause. Like, closing your eyes and going into meditation, and you can do it with me now if that feels good to you, is a real life pause button. It is really just like nothing matters outside of this moment, and you are actively removing all of the external stimuli from what's going on. So that is basically getting into your own energy in a nutshell. Like meditation is the clearest example of what it means to get into your own energy. So I'm going to open my eyes again. Now, how do you do this in your life? My thing, if you ever want to change something about your life, is to just change your immediate environment. You don't have to change your whole life. You don't need to get too granular. We stay high level. We don't get lost in the details. It's like, okay, am I too hot? Am I too cold? Do I like what I'm wearing? Do I like the blanket I'm using? Is there stuff around me? Can I like clean up? Can I do my dishes? So it's like these immediate things. How can you improve your immediate environment? Whenever you're just like sitting and you're not feeling good and you're scrolling, you need to just immediately change your environment. Change something about what's going on. And again, this isn't going to create lasting change, but this is how you create this own little cocoon of your energy. So stop again. So whenever you just like close your eyes, meditate, center, get focused. And the other things that I like to do is just kind of disconnect from anything time related. And so that involves watching a show, because then you're on the timeline of the show that you're watching. It involves picking up a book where you're in control of like whenever you're reading that, you are your stimulus and you are what's in control of like when you put that down. And you're in, thank you, I'm glad that resonated with you. You're in control, like whenever you're reading, whenever you're using your planner and you're just looking at your time and you're just thinking about, I like to use planners as a creative outlet to look back on what I've already done and then prepare for what's coming up. But it's really just, if you don't stop the train, it's going to just keep going in the direction that you're going. So whenever you actually stop and take deliberate time and disconnect, whether it's from social media, whether it's just turning your phone off for a night, what you're doing is you're kind of like letting the train reroute. So you're not like changing tracks, but that way, instead of just keeping to go in the same direction, it feels like your life's running away, it gives you more control. So that's, again, I said meditation is probably my favorite. Turning off my phone, my favorite. Turning off the TV by 8 p.m. That's been a game changer for me. Turning off my phone and turning off my TV by 8 p.m. Obviously, if I'm still going live past 8, that's like one thing. But turning off the phone and turning off the TV by 8. The other thing that I like to do is just say no if something feels lukewarm. And the other thing is just stop seeking external feedback for things that you feel unsure of. So I know that it can be so tempting to assume that other people might have the answers, or other people might know, or we're scared and we don't know what to do and we just want to like talk to someone and see what they say. But that's not going to help you, because at the end of the day, that just makes you reliant on external. And then if it kind of, I was looking at some of the decisions that I was faced with this week and some of the things that I had to do, and I was almost wishing that like they wouldn't happen so that I wouldn't have to make a decision. Whereas I could have viewed that so much more empowered and been like, you know what, I know what I want to do. Like, don't wish away opportunities because you're too scared to do what you know you need to do. Like, don't be, like, you can say no. Like, you have autonomy over your life. You have the ability and the power to improve your circumstances and to actually decide what comes next. So with this, I invite you to have an absolutely incredible, incredible next week. And let's just take another deep centering breath just to go ahead and get ready. Hand on your belly, hand on your chest. Breathe in. Release. We're going to do this 2 more times. Breathe in. Hold at the top. Release. I invite you to breathe in. Hold at the top. Release. I invite you to have a truly amazing and miraculous upcoming week. And anytime you start to feel things going away, I want you to use this energetic hack. You can either imagine yourself surrounded in your auric bubble. Okay? You have a bubble around you. And I just want you to imagine a zipper that you can pull up anytime you start to feel an energy leaking, anytime you have an interaction that doesn't feel good. I just want you to imagine yourself zipping up your energy. This is going to be your protective energy cocoon, and this is something that you can do anytime you start to feel an energy leak, anytime you start to feel stressed. Just zip it up and know that you are in control. Breathe in, release anything that needs to go. We're gonna wiggle our fingers. We're gonna wiggle our toes. Open our eyes. Thank you so much for joining me, whether live or via the recording. I hope you use that energy hack. I hope you started to brainstorm ways you can get into your own energy this week. And I am just so excited. I will see you here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. We're going to have different topics every week, whether it's going to be creative planning or whether it's manifestation, whether it's talking about mindset. I hope you enjoyed this week's pep talk. I love you so much. I'll see you next week.